welcome to my channel. My name's Angela and this is Devon Thread Tales. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some of the makes that I've not yet had a chance to share with you. I don't know what time span it has been over how long it's taken me to sew all of these items, but I know that they are things that I haven't shared yet, so I'm really excited about sharing them with you. So just of late, you'll notice that I have only been sharing my 1 week me made, and I've done that over the last few weeks. I had a period of time where we were extraordinarily busy and I was poorly, and I've got a video all about that. It's a bit of a chatty catch-up video, sort of catching up with where I am and what I'm doing, and if you want to watch that, I will pop a link into that up here. But that's why I haven't been doing any sort of what I would call normal sewing videos like this. So I'm really glad to be getting back to it and being able to share with you the things that I've been making. I'm really excited because I've been reorganising and moving my sewing room into a different room, and I've been deciding what fabric I'm going to keep, what I'm going to destash, what patterns I'm going to keep and destash. I've been organising it, sort of putting it all into different cupboards and things like that, and cataloguing it, and I'm really excited about sharing with you, and at some point I will be doing a video all about that and showing you around my new sewing room, so keep an eye out for that. If that's something that you're interested in, you don't want to miss it, do make sure that you are subscribed to this channel and make sure you press that notification bell as well, because then you will not miss out on any up and coming videos. And as always, if you can, please do give me a like and say hi and hello in the comments. I'm kind of hoping that some of you might say hello in the comments, because I have a few questions over one of the garments that I'm going to share with you that I am stuck with and I do not know what to do with. So I'm really hoping that some of you are going to be able to help me and come up with some solutions. So like I say, I'm going to be sharing that video with you at some point, and in the next few weeks I'm going to be sharing a plans video, and after that I will be sharing with you a bit of a snapshot into the holiday that both myself and my husband John have been on, and I pretty much wore me-made garments for the entire time that we were away, so I'm going to try and share that with you as well. I've made myself a really lovely cup of decaf tea because I'm being very good at the moment, and I'm trying to cut back on the caffeine. Definitely helping with the sleep. I've got back to midday now, no caffeine after midday, so woohoo to me. So if you fancy having a really nice sit down and yap and chat and look through the things that I've been making, pause the video now, go and make yourself a nice brew of whatever that is, hot chocolate, cup of coffee, cup of tea, herbal tea, maybe it might be just a cold drink. Go and sit down, or even a biscuit or a bit of cake. Go and grab that and come back, and we'll go through and I'll share with you all of the things I've been making. So the first thing that I'm going to share with you today is what I'm wearing, and that is the Friday Pattern Company Avenir jumpsuit. So the Avenir jumpsuit is described as an easy to sew jumpsuit with billowy sleeves and wide legs. It's almost as comfortable as pajamas. I disagree with that. I think it's as comfortable as pajamas, but still stylish enough to wear to dinner with friends. Completely agree with that. Elastic gathers the neckline and the waistline for an easy fit, and the pattern includes options for long sleeves gathered with elastic or short sleeves, which is obviously what I've done. The size range comes from an extra small, which is a bust size of 32 to 33 inches, to a 7X, which is a bust size of 59 to 60 inches. I feel like that's a really good and inclusive size range, and I really hope that you feel the same as well. So first of all, I made this jumpsuit a little while ago in a crepe fabric that I bought from Rainbow Fabrics. I absolutely love the jumpsuit. There were things about it that I definitely wanted to change, which I've managed to do with this one, and I'll talk that through with you in a moment. I haven't made any size alterations from the size that I made previously to this one, but weirdly I feel like this fits me much better. I don't know why, maybe it's a difference in fabric. They're both non-stretch. I've no idea. The only thing I can think of is the other version is in crepe fabric. Maybe it has very slightly shrunk or something, I'm not really sure. It still fits, but I just feel like this fits and looks nicer. But it might be the alterations that I've made, which I'll talk through. So first of all, my previous version I made in the short sleeve version. I really can't see myself wearing this in a long sleeve version. This pattern I think was originally produced as only a paper pattern, and it did come with just long sleeves. I was talking about this with my very dear and lovely friend Karen, who has so little time, because she's been making the Avenir jumpsuit as well, and I'm hoping I haven't let the cat out of the bag saying that. Hopefully I haven't. I'm pretty sure she shared it already. But she's made a version, but she's obviously got the original pattern, and it looks like it's only got long sleeves in it, whereas mine's definitely a revised version which has got long and short sleeves. But I just wanted to show you the sleeves. This is the sleeve pattern piece. So it is a raglan sleeve. It's not a set-in sleeve, which makes it super quick and easy to sew. And this is the long sleeve version. I've got it the wrong way around. Long sleeve version, and had it the right way around the first time. And there is just a line here for the short sleeve, and this down each side is absolutely perfectly straight. So if you do have the original version, you just want to make a short sleeve, that is literally all you have to do, is shorten it. Now, the original version that I made where this line tells you to cut it, and I saw that the very lovely and very beautiful Rachel, who is the French seams, had made a version of this, and her sleeves seemed to look a little bit different, and I spoke to her about it and she said that she reduced them. Now, I've tried to work out a little bit how much I've reduced mine by, and I can't quite work that out. I think I've reduced them between 2 and 2.5 inches. It might even be very slightly more than that, but I'm really happy with this length, and I really like what this looks like. I like the other version, but I just think that this suits me a little bit better, and I'm glad that I did that. So I've digressed onto sleeves, and really I want to just talk to you quickly about sizing. The original pattern that I made in a size small. Again, I've made this in a size small. I should really be a size medium. If I look at the size range, it's for a bust 36 to 37 is medium, which is me. Waist, actually, I probably am more in the large range, because my waist is between 30 and 31, and the large is 30 to 32, but then my hips are back in the medium range because they're 38. So I was a little bit of a higgledy-piggledy sort of size range, but I looked at the finished garment measurements and I could see that there was a huge amount of ease, and because the original fabric that I was using was quite inexpensive and I just wanted to use it as a 12 fabric, I actually just made it up in a small. And the reason I did that is I didn't like how much, I liked what it looked like, but I didn't want it to billow over the top of the waistband quite as much as it looked in the stock photos. And because I could see that there was lots of room and ease, I decided to just go for it. And I'm really glad that I did, because it fits absolutely beautifully. I really love what it looks like, and for me it's perfect and how I like it. And I've made the exact same size in this one. Now, I did want to just talk to you about pockets, because there's been a bit of chatter about pockets, that they are very narrow. This is the pocket piece, and you'll notice it is actually quite a slender pocket. And again, in my crepe version, I would absolutely agree with this, but weirdly, I didn't change the pocket pieces when I made this version, and actually they feel absolutely fine. So again, whether my pocket pieces shrunk on the crepe version, I'm not quite sure. But if you wanted to, I do feel like this would be a very easy fix for you to make just slightly wider and just bring it out a little bit along that beveled edge there. The only other alteration that I made to this pattern, which again I made on the original version as well as what I've made on this one, is on the legs. On the leg pieces, I added 4 inches to the length of the leg, because I felt like this looked like a bit of an ankle grazer, and I like this to come down properly to my shoes. So I added 4 inches. For reference, I am 5'6". So the fabric that I've used this time is a cottony fabric. I would say it's almost like a chambray. It's actually quite soft and silky. It's not as soft as a viscose or as thin as a viscose. It was a nightmare in terms of it would, just run. So I had to make sure I overlocked absolutely everything, because it has very fine sort of strands that just wanted to run away. It has like a very slightly almost stitched spot on it. I absolutely love it. I got the fabric when I was away in Scotland, and I went to the Scottish Frocktails and we visited a shop called So Confident. I want to say that this is an ex-designer stock fabric, but I might have got that wrong, so don't quote me on that. But I absolutely love it. I think it's really lovely. Now, when I bought this fabric, I bought it 100% with this pattern in mind. I was like, this is what I want to make. And I thought there's no point in making it because it was winter when I bought it. And so when the spring came, I thought, right, I'm going to get that Avenir done because it's going to look so lovely. It's going to look so classy and really nice. And I made it up and put it on the back of my door, and I was like, oh no, I didn't think about the fact that it had spots all over it, and now I'm wondering if it looks a bit like a clown's outfit. And I was like, oh, I'm not sure about it. And it just sat on the back of my door and I just didn't wear it. I was absolutely gutted. I was like, oh, I don't really like it now. But I've been on holiday just recently, like I said, and I took it with me anyway. And while I was away on holiday, one of the days I dragged it out and popped it on, and I was like, oh my gosh, I actually really love this. I don't feel like a clown in it at all. I don't know what I was thinking. I really, really love it. I think it just looks really nice and casual. It's a bit more fun than just a plain denim or chambray, but it's not too in your face, and I just love it. I'd really like to make another version of this, and I'd like to make it in a viscose just to see what that would look like and how that would feel as well. But yeah, really, really love it, and I think it's a great make and a great garment. Now, there is one thing that I do just need to mention. There is one alteration that I've made, and again, this was because I chatted to the lovely Rachel from the French Seams. On my original version, the elastic that runs through the channel in the neckline, I feel like every 2 minutes I'm sort of having to sort of adjust it and pull it and do all sorts of different things to it, and it just didn't sit right at all. I still wear it, but it really annoys me that the elastic twists up inside. It doesn't matter how much I've tried to stitch it down or do things to it, it ain't having it. It's not sitting, and I have to kind of do that. Right, just get over it, just let it do its thing and it'll be fine. But what I have done with this version is I have used a 1.5 centimetre elastic. I will just double check to find out what the actual elastic recommendations are, and then the channel that I've sewn is a 1.6 channel, 1.6 centimetre channel, so it really does sit very, very snugly in there. And then where the raglan seams are on the sleeves, both front and back, I've then stitched that down to make sure that those pieces of elastic are stitched in place. I feel like if I wanted to, I could probably get away with popping another couple of stitches here and there, but I thought I would just wear it first to see how that felt and see if it worked, and it has. It's been absolutely great. So I'm really pleased that I did that. So all in all, absolutely delighted with this garment, and I cannot wait to make another version of it. So next up, I'm going to share with you the items that I don't have with me, and that is the Bestie bag. Now, I know I've shared the Bestie bag with you before, but I've made 2 new ones, and I just want to very quickly run through these and show you these. You're more than welcome to skip through if you don't want to see it again. I absolutely love this Bestie, or the Bestie bag, and I cannot wait to make more of them, if I'm absolutely honest. So I will very quickly, again, describe to you how the Bestie bag is described. Meet the Bestie bag. From everyday errands to life's greatest adventures, this bag will be your cute new sidekick. Bestie bag is a banana-shaped carry-all companion with 4 different views, so you can tailor its size, straps and pockets to suit your needs and style. So this comes in a size small, medium or large. I believe that there are different pattern options that you can get. I think you can buy the small and medium together, and you can buy the large on its own, or you can buy it as a whole bundle. I can't actually remember what I bought, but I do know that I've got the medium size, so that's what I've made. I think I might have the small as well. The different options that you get with this is that you can make it with a slight pleat on either end of the banana, or you can change up the way the pockets are on the inside. You can have the strap with webbing, or you can have the strap with the actual fabric that you've made the bag in, so it matches totally. There are so many different options with this bag, and because the pockets you sew them up, you can make them however you want, which is what I've done in these two versions. So the two versions I've made, first of all, I've made one for my daughter. Now I've got my notes here so I don't miss anything out. So I made Ellen's in a denim, and I made it for her birthday. It was a denim that I had left over from a pair of dungarees that I was making quite some time ago. I believe that the strap was from Purple Stitches, but I can't be 100% sure, unfortunately. I got the cotton lining from Haberdashery Fabrics and More, and she helped choose it. It was what she wanted. She wanted something that was vibrant and flowery, and to be fair, it's her personality all over. So it looks lovely and it looks really nice with the denim. I'm so pleased that she went with that. I got all of the components for the bag itself, like I say, from either Purple Stitches or I got it from Amazon. There was a bit of both, and I'm not sure what I got from which place, unfortunately. I used a single side iron-on webbing that I got from Hobbycraft, and it was quite a nice weight, and that just seemed to work well with the bag. And I've used that same one on all of the different Bestie bags that I've made. If I remember to, I will try and put a link to that webbing, to the webbing in the description of this video below as well, so you can see that. Now I did do a couple of different things with this. I put some labels on it. So I put a label on the inside, which I thought was really super cute. I really liked it. I thought it worked well with the colouring of the fabric, and that was from Little Rosy Cheeks. I also put a little tiny weeny label that you might be able to see. It's on the start of the zip pull, and it just says, "I am me." And if you turn over, it says, "I am brave." And she was going through a little bit of a tough time at the time when I was making this, and I just thought it was a really nice thing that when she looked down, she could just go, "Yeah, I am me and I am brave." And then on the front of the bag, I put a little label, which I thought kind of made it look slightly more sort of designery. And I wasn't 100% sure where I got these labels from, but I seem to remember they were from a Becky's Sewing Studio advent calendar that I had last Christmas. So I think that's where that was from. Now, the little label that I've put on the front, she loves all of it. She loves the whole bag. She thinks it's great. But the label on the front, she has said to me, "I don't want to lose it and I'm worried it's going to fall off." And at the moment, it's just stitched in very slightly on each end because there was a little hole in each side of the label, and I've just hand stitched it in. And I think really I need to pop it on with something a little bit more secure so that it doesn't come off. You'll notice from the pictures that I also had there a little coin purse, and I used a sewing tutorial that was on YouTube, and that was from Sewing Times is the name of the channel. I will put a link below. It was a DIY keyring zipper pouch. Now in the tutorial it said to use a 10cm zip, which is what I've done, and I will say it doesn't work very well. I think I needed a longer zip. I don't know why. I don't think I got it wrong. I think I've used what they've told me to use in the tutorial, but whether they have a different make of zip or type of zip. And I think what I need to do is I need to get my big girl pants on and be a bit brave and use a continuous zip, because that would have been a bit better. It works perfectly well, and Ellen says it works fine, and she can get her coins in, she can get even her cards and things like that into the little coin purse. But I feel like the zip doesn't open up quite enough, and I'm a bit disappointed with it. But I was losing time, unfortunately. I needed to get it off to her, and I didn't have time to correct it, so I just sent it as is, which is a bit of a shame. So that was Ellen's bag. Then I made a bag for my friend's daughter. This was a birthday present for her. It was a very late birthday present because I just didn't get around to doing it, unfortunately. So I made hers out of a black corduroy. I bought this fabric originally to make a pair of trousers for one of my daughters, but I've just never got around to making it. And actually I realised I had a huge excess of this fabric, and I knew I had to have enough to still make her a pair of trousers and cut a couple of Bestie bags out, which I have actually done, and I'll explain that in a moment. So she isn't a particularly girly girl. She wanted something completely black, but she is an avid Liverpool football supporter. So I decided to do the inside in bright red because I thought that would sort of coincide well with the Liverpool football team. It was not football-y as such, but neither is it girly and flowery, so hopefully that worked really well. And again, I used a label from Little Rosy Cheeks, and all of the webbing and zips etc. was either from Purple Stitches or some of the items were from Amazon. And again, I made her the little coin purse, and again with the same problem with the zip not opening up brilliantly. But even so, they were both absolutely delighted with what I'd made, and I'm so glad that I made them. I'm really glad that I made the little matching purse. I've got one more to make for my daughter, and I'm going to be making that in a black fabric as well, but with a different lining, and hopefully I can rectify the whole coin purse scenario that's been going on. Next up, I'm going to talk to you about another jumpsuit, and that is the Helen's Closet Lockhart jumpsuit. Oh my word, this is my most favourite pattern at the moment, and I'm going to make no apologies for the fact that this is the second make of this, and that quite possibly I'm going to be making quite a few more versions of it as well. So first of all, I will explain again, like I have with the other patterns, what this is described as. The Lockhart jumpsuit and dress, so it comes as a jumpsuit and dress, is the perfect pattern for a modern jumpsuit, playful romper, cute mini dress, or even a formal evening gown. Lockhart is truly so versatile and offers a ton of options. Every view features a fitted and lined princess seamed bodice that hugs the body. The pants are wide-legged and voluminous, and the skirt is a classic A-line shape. The pants and the skirt are not lined, and both the jumpsuit and the dress feature anchored in inseam pockets and your choice of narrow or wide straps. The Lockhart has an invisible zip that is at the centre back, and waist starts to add shaping. So very quickly again, I will talk to you about the size range. It comes in two different size ranges in terms of cup sizes, which again I think is brilliant for fitting. So it comes in a B size cup range, which is a full bust of 31, which is size 0, to a size 22, which is a full bust of 48 inches. Or it comes in the D cup size range, which starts at a size 12, full bust of 40 inches, to a size 34, which is a full bust of 62 inches. So again, really great sizing range, and also really great options there with the different cup sizes. So I love this type of jumpsuit, and I've tried to make a jumpsuit which is really similar to this before. I've done a collaboration with, again, the very lovely Karen, who is So Little Time. We did the New Look 6446. I'll put an image in of what that jumpsuit looks like here. You'll see it's very similar, and I'll put a link in up here to the collaboration video that we did on that. Now, I love it, but I never got it to fit properly, and I did a lot of alterations on that and took forever to try and get it to work, and I just couldn't get it to work for love nor money. And as much as I still love it, I do know that it still isn't quite right every time I wear it. Well, this, my friends, is the answer, and the reason it's the answer is because it has princess seams on the bodice, and I've just realised princess seams is the way to go for me. They make such a difference, and I love the way that they look and it fits, and I absolutely love it. So the first version I made of this was a trial version. I made it in a really cheap fabric that I bought from Birmingham Rag Market. I had decided that I'd fallen out of love with the fabric itself, so I thought, well, it doesn't really matter, I'm just going to make it up, and I'm not going to worry about the sizing particularly. I'm going to do it in the size that I think, but I probably will never wear it because I don't like the fabric anymore. But weirdly, because it fits nicely, I actually wear that jumpsuit all the time, so it's strange really. Now, just for sizing reference, and again, hopefully you all know by now if you've been following me for a while, I put all of my sizes of my body measurements in the description of this video below. So I size mine at the bust for a size 10, and then I graded out to a size 12 at the waist and the hips. So that's what I did with mine, and I did the inseam pockets on the original version. I did the wide straps, did the legs as they were, etc. Really like it, really pleased with it, brilliant. The only thing I would say is I felt like the crotch depth was way too long. Oh, the other thing I will say is, I've got some notes here actually, I did add 2 centimetres to the length of the bodice, but I seem to have to do that with most of the bodices that I make in anything that I do. So I think that's a standard adjustment for me. So I did add 2 centimetres length to the bodice, but I felt like the crotch length was way too deep, and I thought it was too deep by about 4 inches. Now, thankfully, I had the common sense not to try and reduce it by 4 inches, and I reduced it by 1.5 inches in the version that I've done this time. And when I put it on, I was like, oh, that's too tight, and I was really worried that I'd done it too much. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I was like, oh my gosh. And I can't remember who it was that told me. And I'm so sorry, because I really want to credit this person. But somebody said to me, why don't you just let the seam allowance out around the crotch? I can't remember. I think it might have been Katie, who's whatever Katie sews on Instagram. So I did let the seam out, and I literally let it out by 1/4 of an inch, so that it was down to about 1/4 of an inch where the overlocking stitches came. And that worked out perfectly. So I've now adjusted my pattern piece again, and I've increased the crotch length again. So I've now only reduced it by 1 inch, and I think that will be perfect for my next version. So this is the version I've made. I didn't make any adjustments from my original version in terms of the length of the bodice. I haven't changed the sizing on it or anything. The only adjustments I've made is I wanted to not have inseam pockets. I wanted to have the pockets that have got the slant on them, which is what the New Look 6446 pattern has. And the way I did that, because this is the pattern piece, and the pattern piece is one that folds over in half, and then you sew that to the side seam and you leave a gap where your hand is going to enter. And all I did was I changed this so that it was folded over, and I cut out the pattern piece so it looked like that rather than like that, and I did the same to the front leg piece so it mirrored this. And then I sewed it and undersewed it, understitched it so that it all sat really nicely. And I'm really pleased with the finish on that. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that, but there's the side seam there, and the pocket is in there. So I quite like how that looks. Now, while I was away on holiday, I wore this, and I also wore my other version, which has got the inseam pockets. And I thought to myself, oh, I'm gonna so much prefer this. Actually, really, because the way the pocket is constructed and the way that Helen has designed it so that it sits in the seam of the waist, I don't really think I needed to do this. I think it would have worked perfectly well if I just left the pockets as they were. And possibly next time, that's what I'll do. But thankfully I haven't cut up my pattern piece or anything. I just sort of moved it around. But I use this fabric, which is a fabric from Make Fabric Boutique, and it is an Atelier Jupe fabric in navy blue with this lovely sort of white dotted floral design. I absolutely love it. I felt really elegant and really lovely in it. I just wore it with pumps, and I think it worked really well like that. So I'm just going to check my notes to make sure there were no other adjustments I made. So the only other thing to note on this, which is an adjustment I made so that I didn't waste too much fabric this time. I am 5'6". Again, I think I've mentioned that earlier on in the video. For reference, I cut off 3.5 inches from the original leg length so that I didn't waste the fabric cutting it out, because I had to cut that much off my original version, and that worked perfectly well. And on the bottom of the legs, I've still got quite a nice deep hem, so I've just overlocked the bottom and then I've stitched up, I think that's by 2 centimeters. So overall, honestly, I cannot tell you how much I absolutely adore and love this jumpsuit. I feel lovely when I wear it. I did try to slim the legs down on this version just to see if I liked that a little bit, but it was just minimal. I just took it in like 1 centimeter or so each side of the legs. And again, I don't think I'm going to bother next time. I think I'm going to just leave it as is. Helen's made a fabulous pattern and I just need to leave it. Now, I have already got another version of this cut out, but this time I've got a dress version and I cannot wait to make that and share that with you. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to make it before I went away on holiday, but I'm going to be making it up soon and I'll be sharing that again with you. So I'm going to move away from jumpsuits just for a moment and share with you a dress that I've made recently. I'm an ambassador for Sew Over It, and that means that when they have a pattern that they want to share, we get a version of the pattern that we can then make up prior to the release date and share it with all of you lovely people, which is really great, and I really enjoy doing that. So I made the Lori dress. Now this is spelled L-O-R-I. I'm not sure if I'm actually pronouncing it correctly, but I think that's how it's said. So the Lori dress is a feminine and versatile short-sleeved wrap dress, ideal for spring and summer, which absolutely agree it is. Fitted with bust darts on the front and waist darts on the back bodice, Lori features a beautiful silhouette with a generous wrap that is secured on the inside as well as on the outside with a pretty tie at the waist. The pattern includes two styles. Version 1 is a timeless design with a pointed flat collar and gently puffed sleeves with cuffs, and version 2 is more unexpected with a mandarin style collar that sits flat around the neck and pretty notched sleeves to match the curves with the collar. The timeless shape and beautiful construction, Lori can be a lovely daytime dress or a showstopper for a special occasion. Depending on your fabric choice, use something with plenty of drape for an effortlessly elegant look. So I will just very quickly share with you the sizes as well. So this goes from a size 6 to a size 30, and the bust measurement on a size 6 is 31, and the bust measurement on the size 30 is 57 inches. Sorry, that was 30 inches to 57 inches. I don't think I said inches before. So I made my version of this in this beautiful blue fabric that I got again from Rainbow Fabrics. It was, I seem to remember in COVID times, lockdown and all that kind of thing, I think I went through a stage of, I'm just going to order fabric. I think a lot of people did that. And I have all of this beautiful viscose fabric, which I've held on to and not used for ages. And I'm trying to be more mindful about using what's in my stash. And I thought that this was a beautiful, beautiful colour. And I thought I would give this dress a go in this. Now, I wasn't sure about the sit down collar, and when I first saw the version of this dress I thought, oh, I quite like it with the puff sleeves, and I quite like it with the little, I don't know if you can see it there, little detail on the sleeve as well. I think that's really pretty, but I'm not sure if I would have the stand-up collar either. Maybe I could just make it with no collar at all. Now, I will say, I absolutely think you can. I think you could do that, and you could mix and match the elements from both version 1 and 2 on this and mix it up to be whatever style you want. And I think if I wanted to make this again, I absolutely could make this without a collar at all. But I thought I would go for it because I thought it was just a little bit different. And there was something about it that was making me think, oh, I think it would be really lovely in this fabric. I think it would look really different and really unique, and I quite like that sort of unusual sort of neckline that it created, and I'm so glad that I did. When I was first making it, I was away with a couple of friends, Sam, Sew Let Sparkle, and Katie, whatever Katie sews, and they were sort of convinced me, no, it looks lovely, it looks lovely. But I was like, I'm not sure. But until I'd finished the entire garment and made it up, it was only then that I was completely convinced, and I was really pleased with what this looked like. So first things first, before I go on with anything else about the dress, I made the size 12. That's exactly where I was measurement wise. If I just go back and look at what those measurements are so I can confirm that with you. So size 12 was a bust size of 37, a waist of a size 30, and a hip of 40. Now my hip actually puts me in the smaller size range. Because it was sort of an A-liney, floaty sort of skirt, I thought it really didn't matter. I didn't need to grade down to the next size. It just made it much easier just to do the whole size 12, which is what I did. And I'm really glad that I did. It fits really nicely. I did actually sew the wrap the wrong way around, and when I went to go and put it on, I was really confused and couldn't work out why I couldn't get it to go together, and then I realised I'd put things, you know, different skirt panels on the wrong way round. But it was a very easy fix, so thankfully I was able to do that. I just use a little bit of ribbon for the inside tie, so that makes that really easy. And then, like it explains on the pattern explanation, it's just got a really pretty outside tie. Like I say, love the neckline with it. I did put a little rosy cheeks label in it saying life is colourful on there, which I thought was quite nice. The little design that is on the sleeve, when I first sewed this up, you could barely see the indent that was on it, and I was a little bit disappointed, and I thought, no, I'm not happy with that. I'm going to go back, and I actually redrew on it, and I made the indent much deeper, and I'm glad that I did. Now, whether I sewed it up incorrectly the first time I made that or not, I don't know, but I'm really glad that I finished it in the way that I did. If I make this again, which I think I will, I might move the indent so that it's not at the front of the sleeve. I might move it so it's actually in the centre of the sleeve and sits more there rather than in the front, because I think that would look right, or I feel like that would feel right on me to have it in the centre. But other than that, all I can say about this is I took this away on holiday with me, and John and I went out for an evening meal, and I wore this and I felt really lovely in it. We went to watch a singer and have a lovely sort of 3-course evening meal, and I felt very elegant in it, really nice. I had it on with a pair of heels, and then after we'd finished our meal, we wanted to go for a walk, and I chucked my heels off and I put on a pair of white pumps, and it looked equally as lovely with that. And I think that this is going to be a versatile dress that I can wear with either. The skirt is a lovely length, and I haven't adjusted it at all, and I love the width and the sort of circumference of the skirt. I think it gives it a really lovely sort of floaty, elegant look to it. I did have a couple of mishaps trying to take photos. I'll put a couple of the images in. My husband was trying to take pictures of us, of me on the balcony of the ship, and it was obviously a bit windy, but generally it didn't come apart at all. But yeah, absolutely love this dress, and I will be wearing it lots and lots. And now I have to eye up some more fabric and see what else I want to make it in. Do not adjust your screens, your eyes do not deceive you. I have in fact got changed. I've got changed because this is the last garment that I want to share with you, and it's the garment that I really want some advice from, if at all possible. So please, hopefully you will see me through to the end and you might be able to offer some assistance. So this is the Deer and Doe Sirocco jumpsuit. Absolutely love this jumpsuit. I've made it once before and I wanted to make it again. I'll talk through that in a moment, but first of all, I will very quickly go through all of the information about the Deer and Doe. So it is detailed as comfort and glamour in one tidy package. The Sirocco jumpsuit is designed for knit fabrics. It features a mock wrap bodice, short sleeves and pleated pants, and yes, there are pockets. Version A is a jumpsuit with tapered pants, and version B is a romper with shorts. And the sizing, it goes from a B cup, which is a full bust of 32 inches, to a full bust of 43 inches. And there is a D cup size range, which goes from a full bust of 41.25 inches to 58 inches. So again, a fairly good size range there. There does seem to be a new size range. In November 2024, we added size 62. So I think the D cup actually goes up to now 59.75 inches. So that's good that it's increased its size range as well. So that's great. So I've made this jumpsuit before. I made it in a black Pontoroma. I'll put an image up here. I had a friend of mine took some pictures of me in a dance studio that had lots of graffiti in it, that he thought it would look quite edgy and cool. So I had this made up for that. Now, this jumpsuit that I made, the black one that you can see, was for going out, and I will say it's a little bit risque because there's a lot of exposure in this area, and I'm going to be very careful what I do on screen because I don't want to expose myself here. A lot of exposure here. I had read that it was a really good idea to increase the length of the bodice, which I normally have to do on quite a lot of my patterns. So without thinking, I just did that, and it was far too much, and this was very low. But I kind of went with it. I bought a piece of underwear that meant I could wear it and it would work okay with that, and it was fine. But I've seen two different people wearing the Sirocco in a more casual way. First of all, some random lady that I saw at the Stitch Festival a year or two ago in a plain navy blue version. I was like that, oh my gosh, she looks absolutely amazing. I don't know who she was, but I stalked her. I was with Katie at the time. We stalked her and went, what are you wearing? She went, it's the Sirocco jumpsuit. And we're like, oh, it's gorgeous. And I also have seen Adele, who's Sew for Serenity, wear a few versions of the Sirocco jumpsuit, and she wears it in a more casual style, and it just looks fabulous on her. She's got it to fit her beautifully and lovely, and I really like it. So I thought, oh, I'm going to give it another go. So I've made it in this viscose jersey, which I bought from Guthrie Ghani. It's a navy blue background and it has red and white, sort of almost a bit leopard printy kind of style on it. Now the problem that I have, as you can probably see, is this wants to gape open, and I feel like this neckband that's around here just isn't quite tight enough, or that I haven't got the wrap quite around enough. Like I need to have sewn it a little bit more, and I don't know whether or not that just would have solved it if I had done that. I don't know, but I really want this to work. I can't change this, I can't adjust it. What I have been doing, I didn't do it now because I wanted to show you what the problem was, is I have just been putting a hairpin there to hold it in place so that I don't give anybody any flashing. But I don't know whether or not I need to size down because I've gone on a lighter weight fabric, whether I need to pinch the shoulders up so that they're not quite as low down, or do I bring this across? I have no idea. I genuinely do not know what to do, but I absolutely want to make this again, and I want to make it work for me. I'm not going to not wear this because it's so comfortable and it is so like pajama. It's unbelievable, and I love how it fits. I love the pockets in it. It's got these lovely pleats which, you know, are really flattering. I think it fits really nicely around the bottom. Hopefully you'll be able to see more in the pictures in the video that I'm putting up. I like the length of the sleeves. I can just see me wearing this all the time. The only thing that I probably will do with the version that I've got on today is I need to shorten it because I don't think I quite hemmed it right, and it's just a tad too long. That's nothing, is it? I can just take that up, you know, maybe another half a centimetre or something, just to take a little bit of length out of it. The only other thing I will say is when I do finally find the fit version that fits properly and I make it again, I will make sure that I make it in a fabric that doesn't have a white background. So if I show you, look, this has a white background on the back, and you can't really see it in the screen, but where this is all nice and dark, where the waistband stretches over, because it's meant to pull you in at that place, so it's really well stretched there. It's not tight particularly, as you can see, it's quite comfortable, but I feel like that's paled the fabric so it doesn't quite look right. Whereas if I had a fabric that was all one solid colour, or it was dark on the background, that wouldn't have happened. So answer our postcard please, or comment in the description below. How do I solve this? What do I do? Do I need to size down? Do I need to reduce the length? Do I cross it over more? Are there any suggestions that I'm not coming up with that you can think of? Because I'd really like to know. So that is it from me today. I feel like this has possibly been quite a long video, and I'm really sorry if it has, but I wanted to share with you all of the things that I've been making recently. I do feel like there's quite possibly some other things which I've made, which I've forgotten about and I've not shared with you. And if that is the case, I'm very sorry. And if I remember them, I'll share them in another video. So like I said earlier on in the beginning of the video, I will be doing a video all about my new sewing room. I'm going to be doing a video on my holiday, my me-made wardrobe while I've been away on holiday, and I'm also going to be doing a plans video in the next few weeks as well. So if any of that is something that you'd like to watch, like I say, don't forget to subscribe and press that notification bell. But otherwise, I want to wish you all a very lovely, happy time wherever you are and whatever time you're watching this. Hope you're doing lots of sewing, and take care of yourselves. See you soon. Bye.